Hey guys, I'm just responding to a bunch of requests I've had about seeing exactly how fast the HP Touchpad is when you overclock it and install patches and extra things to speed it up. So I'm just going to do a little demonstration of how fast it is when you've overclocked it to 1.7 gigahertz and applied a bunch of the optimization patches that are available on Preware. So here's a little demo. Start off with the web browser. So it's not quite instant, but it's pretty quick. So let's go navigate over to red flag deals here. Pretty quick there. View some new posts. Oh, surprise, surprise, the HP Touchpad thread is moving along strongly. So you can see it's pretty quick on at least this web page here, which is optimized for mobile. If we go to a little more intensive web page, Pre-Central, which is where you're going to get a lot of your mods and updates, you can see that this is just about as well, not quite as fast, but it's pretty quick, pretty graphic intensive. Let's go to random form here. So you can see they're pretty quick. Definitely not a bad web browsing experience by any stretch of the imagination. So let's go ahead and pick Mail. Mail loads instantly with the when you've overclocked your processor. If you've used it stock, you know that it's pretty sluggish. Definitely a massive improvement when it comes to Mail. When you do have your inbox open, it's just as fast, even with a ton of emails. I just don't want you guys to see all my emails, so I'm not gonna navigate there. Calendar, really quick. You can see I got my crown spray done on the 18th there. Maps is not instant, but pretty quick. We just loaded up New York City there. So let's search for Toronto here. And you can see just how quick it loads. Pretty much instant here. I mean, you'd be hard pressed to get it quicker than that. Let's switch over to satellite view. Still, I mean, this is pretty sure this is faster than I can do on my computer, so definitely no complaints from me here. What else do we want to try? Go to our downloaded apps. You can see I've got a couple on here already. National Post. Not instant, but well, this is actually a little slower. Actually, I don't think it's loading. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say that's a National Post problem and not a touch problem. Let's try something else here. HP App Catalog. Here you can go through the various applications that are available. It's definitely no comparison with the iPad, but there's quite a few apps available. Definitely enough to tie us over until an Android port, or if you're using Preware, there's probably going to be a bunch more on there as well. So navigating between the categories is still kind of slow, not nearly as slow as it is stock. But I mean, this is not something you do every day, so it's not a big deal. Definitely web browsing is much improved. Pretty much everything is improved. So you can see what I've got installed here and what you're going to need for these performance tweaks. You have Preware, which is the first thing you're going to install, which loads up really quickly. Downloading the feeds takes a while each time, but that's not really a processor thing. So if you see installed packages, you'll be able to see what I have installed here. These are all pretty much the default applications and what I've downloaded from the App Store, other than Govna. Go back to the patches so you get a better idea. In terms of patches, and I've posted these in the original forum post that this video is being linked to, you have faster card animations, hyperversion, muffle system logging, quiet, powered messages, removed dropped packet logging, Usenet, CFQ IO scheduler, and unthrottled download manager. And then, whoops, this is also a lot faster, by the way. In terms of the kernel, as I mentioned, I have F15C Eagle installed, which allows you to overclock up to 1.7 gigahertz. This isn't, like, it's not final release software yet, but it's still, well, I haven't used it to a great extent as of yet, but it's pretty stable from what I've seen. Oops. Kind of a hard position to click with the video camera here. And in terms of applications, as I mentioned, so you have Govna, and you have EOM Overlord monitoring, which is the other kind of performance enhancing patch. Basically, it just stops messages from being sent across the Linux servers. Or not the Linux servers, sorry, the Palm servers. The other patches here, these are all basically just stopping unnecessary things from happening, like logging that doesn't need to happen. The download manager one, for whatever reason, out of the box, your download speeds are capped at pretty low kilobyte per second. This just removes that cap and allows you to download as fast as either your connection or the device can handle. I'm not sure which one's higher. So that's Preware there. If you head to Govna, you can see that I'm operating, right now it's backed into 432 because I'm not doing anything intensive that requires 1.7 gigahertz. But if I were to do something, it would spike back up to 1.7 gigahertz. 33 degrees, you can see, is the temperature that I'm operating at. If we go to advanced settings here, you can see that 432 is the minimum, 1.728 is the maximum, and there's a bunch of settings that, I'm going to be honest, I don't know what they mean. I just left them as default. I recommend you do the same unless you know what you're doing. Where's back here? When you install Govna, if you install F15C Eagle, you're going to have these settings set for you by default. If you install Kernel, which is the other option you have, which is considered a stable release as of now, with Kernel you can only go up to 1.5 gigahertz, so not as fast, and it is quite a difference, so I recommend giving F15C a try. But if you do install Kernel, you're going to be set to the default 1.18, I think, gigahertz, so you'll have to go into this profile screen, and I got here by going Profile at the top, and select On Demand TD or TCL 1512, and that'll get you to the maximum 1.5 gigahertz speed setting. So, yeah, I think that's about it. As you can see, everything is really quick. There's no delay at all doing anything when you're overclocked, except for when I fail to do the gestures properly. Maps, fast, switching between screens and settings. Everything is really quick. Another concern that people have is around battery life. You know, you wonder if going from 1.2 to 1.7 gigahertz, is that going to destroy any battery life that I had? And from what I've read, no, that isn't going to happen because there's no voltage changes that are being done with these overclocks. From my experience, which isn't that great, battery life is looking pretty good. This thing's been out of the cradle for about an hour, and battery life is at 98%. So from my perspective, that's pretty good. I watched a quick video clip. I recorded this video, and it's been idle for a little while, so no complaints so far with the battery life. Yeah, I think that about covers it. Everything's quick. You can open multiple windows. RFD. Click somewhere here. You can switch between windows here. Oh, that's the wrong window. Overall, out of the box, I would say it's not the best user experience. It's kind of sluggish, and it's noticeably sluggish. But when you overclock it, everything's pretty speedy, even with a bunch of stuff open like I have now. You can go back and forth between apps without any trouble. Got some YouTube here. I don't know what I clicked on, but right, Eminem.
This one's for you and me, living out our dreams. We're all right with.
That loaded pretty quick. Yeah, I think that about covers it. Let me know if you have any questions.